In order to increase public awareness, I want to address the issues that plant communities may face when nutrient levels are influenced by nearby AI data centers. We know data centers need water to control high temperatures, but what really happens when the water is released back to the environments, such as the Great Lakes? As seen on a graph provided by Our World in Data, AI usage has seen an exponential increase since 2019. Prior to 2019, there were little to no records of large-scale data centers within a single company. The concept of building block data centers was mostly unheard of outside of cryptocurrency. So that may lead us to wonder, why the rise? Why does it seem as though everybody uses AI now? A majority of participants in a survey conducted by Harvard answered that they typically use AI for personal enjoyment. Whether it be something trendy or generating an artistic concept, AI has flooded schools and social media. Businesses also began regular use of AI. Face tracking cameras and customer service bots have seen an increasing popularity. A problem arising from building block data centers is the inability to remove or destroy any of the blocks. Once a data center is established, it may be impossible to move servers. This means that land and water usage will only increase. So how much land and water are already being used? It's estimated that between more than 11,000 AI companies within the US, more than 2 million square meters are occupied. That is roughly 500 acres. The size of these data centers creates a demand for land parcels that are too large to be found in the city. Because of land inaccessibility, companies end up purchasing farmland, putting farming jobs and food security at risk. In addition, cheap land found in areas such as Western Virginia raises concerns from community members about the environment. Residents near Shenandoah National Park believe that the data centers will reduce their quality of life. Data centers are publicly viewed as loud, aesthetically displeasing, and expensive. If the high demand for land wasn't enough, the Environmental and Energy Study Institution estimates that large data centers may use up to 5 million gallons of fresh water per day. That is equivalent to a town of over 10,000 people. Such a high need for water is prompted by the heat produced by processors and e-waste. The heat is much too high for traditional air conditioning, so companies turn to direct liquid cooling. As e-waste cools, heavy metals leach in. This water is then released back into waterways containing toxic elements including lead and mercury. As the now contaminated water is re-released back into the environment, plant communities may face nutrient toxicity. One of the most concerning contaminants in plant communities is lead. Lead interacts directly with the plants as well as some of the essential elements for growth. Bioaccumulation occurs over time, leaving a remediation window. When this window is missed, extreme effects may occur to plants. Since lead is immobile, it accumulates more in the roots, reducing root growth by up to 42%. Lead also competes with other cations during root uptake, blocking essential nutrients such as zinc, calcium, magnesium, and iron. Blocked nutrients and heavy metal toxicity lead to chlorosis and increased risk of infestations. Plants may also experience decreased cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Mercury, on the other hand, is much more toxic to plants, causing health issues at all levels. Mercury is mobile in the plant, making reproduction more difficult after contamination, with no remediation window. Bioavailability is heightened by the fact that it replaces magnesium, simultaneously creating nutrient deficiency. Mercury also reacts with sulfhydryl groups, eliminating disulfide bonds found in amino acids. Other side effects of mercury toxicity include slowed growth and inhibited photosynthesis, oxidation of the lipid membrane, and damage to roots. What consequences do local ecosystems and economics face with the loss of plants growing near contaminated sites? Reduced plant coverage near shores and in coastal wetlands can be directly correlated with significant loss of shorebird and waterfowl populations over time. Toxicity drives away migratory flocks, eliminating hunting demand in those areas, as well as further limiting aesthetic and recreational value. Loss of wetland plants also leads to more erosion and less water filtration. both of which are significant to lake communities. Toxic runoff from waterways also leaches into farmland, effectively poisoning crops eaten by humans and livestock. Creating and maintaining strict rules and regulations for data centers using water should be a priority not only for the safety and quality of human life, but the conservation of our environment.